Welcome to another video here on A+ SimRacing. We're back in AMS2 for some more Corvette Hotlaps. This time we're at Laguna Seca. Let's get things started with the Corvette C3 from the Vintage Touring Cars Tier 1. Now, I am by no means an expert at Laguna Seca, or any track for that matter, but if there's any advice that I can offer for this car and track combo, it is as follows. When it comes to turn 2, the first heavy braking zone in the lap, you want to get the car situated and stable as early as possible so that you can keep your front wheels straight and be fully on the brakes for as long as you can before you start to get to the turn-in point. I would also suggest moving the brake bias a little bit more towards the rear to help with the trail braking and not lock up the fronts. And that way you can get a little bit of more turn input as you're coming off the brakes. In addition to that, just be a little bit patient on the throttle coming out of the turn, or you'll end up going a little bit sideways and have to counter steer, and it'll just slow down your lap altogether. Now when you get to the turn at the bottom of the hill, you want to be careful not to overbrake, and you want to carry as much speed up the hill as you can. You got to have that momentum to carry you up the hill, you don't lose time. As you approach the corkscrew, I would suggest starting to use the brake as you're still going up the hill. That way you don't lose traction coming over the crest. And also, this car is a little bit hard to manage. It doesn't want to slow down. It's got a little bit of weight to it. Also, the brakes aren't modern, they're very old school. So you're just not going to have that same stopping power. So use gravity to your advantage. Start braking a little bit before you get to the top of the hill, so you won't go light as you come over the crest. And that way you can be nice and stable and get ready for the corkscrew. Now let's get on board the Corvette C3 from the Vintage Touring Car Group and enjoy a lap around Laguna Seca. And that lap was a 1 minute 46 seconds, but for some reason the leaderboards in AMS2 are currently bugged, or they've deleted everything. Don't know why. Apparently it's happened before, maybe to save space on the server or something, I don't know. But there are no current world records or ghosts to race against in the time trial mode, at least not right now. They could be back up a couple of days, I don't know. Alright, moving on then. Here's the C3R from the GT Classics group in AMS2. This beast of a car is so much fun. And I was really tempted to just try and throw it around and get some power slides going on. And just some counter steering and drifting and all that. But as much fun as that is, I really wanted to get a decent time. So I tried to limit that. Even though it's so much fun to do that, it's not very fast. There's still a little bit of slip angle and a couple of moments here and there, but for the most part, I'm just trying to have a clean, sort of quick lap, do the best that I can, and share that with all of you. That was a pretty clean looking run through the corkscrew there. And that's the thing about getting all the slides and everything. It looks really cool, and I like making videos. So I gotta sometimes choose between having a fun, cool looking lap that's not very fast, or trying to get a personal best time. Sometimes I do one, sometimes it's the other. Anyway, that's enough rambling. Let's get on board this amazing car and have a lap around Laguna Seca. And that lap was a 1 minute 34 seconds. But unfortunately, there's still no leaderboard times, so I'm going to have to come back to this another day. Moving on to the Corvette C8R from the GTE group. And this Corvette is more stable than the other two. It's more well balanced, modern suspension, aero, all that. It does have traction control, but there's no ABS, so you do have to be careful under the braking. Also remember that the engine is behind you. It's a mid-engine Corvette, so it's unlike all the previous ones. The balance is completely different. You can trail brake with it, but you have to come off the brakes a bit sooner than you would for a car like the C7R, which I know is not in AMS2. Just think of any front-engine GT3 where you can trail brake deeper into the turns, whereas the mid-engine C8R doesn't like that so much. So that's the downside to having the mid-engine car. But the upside is that you can get on the throttle a little bit earlier because there's more weight over the rear. Also, having traction control will minimize that wheel slip. But just don't rely on it too much because it'll actually slow you down. So I would recommend turning the traction control down to whatever your level of comfort is, where you're pushing the throttle earlier and you're not getting the wheel slip, but it's not slowing you down. For me, I think this was on setting 4, but that's just where I found it comfortable. You might want to try something higher or lower, whatever's good for you. So here we are on board the Corvette C8R. Let's enjoy a final lap around Laguna Seca. Laguna Seca in the Corvette C8R with a time of 1:20.8. Well, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Take care, and I'll see you next time.